Hi, what is the story behind the story of Zacchaeus? You're going to be very encouraged and amazed by this. Watch this short video and at the end I'll share one thing about the meaning of Jesus' name that actually shows up in the story. You're going to like this. So Jesus is going to Jerusalem actually to die on the cross there. On the way is Jericho. Now Jerusalem is up on the Judean mountains and Jericho is the lowest city on earth. Because of that, it's very clear that it has a very nice temperature. Jerusalem actually can be very cold. This is a photo of Jerusalem during the winter. It snows there on the average once every 3 years. So the rich folk of Jerusalem were the corrupt Sadducees. They had a bunch of deals going with the Romans, and they were known among all groups in Israel as the ones who were really corrupt. They were the priests or the Levites. These folks had big giant houses in Jerusalem, but they also had nice houses in Jericho, summer homes. Remember the story of the Good Samaritan, how a Levite and a priest went down to Jericho from Jerusalem and wouldn't help the victim dying on the road. We have a video on this. Watch this video. So these Sadducees had winter homes in Jericho. It's nice and warm there. It's kind of a lot like folks from New York have winter homes in Florida. Though I have more faith in New Yorkers than Sadducees. Think, very corrupt politicians. So the money that was used by the Romans had the Caesar declared as God on it. They wanted this money, however this money would make them unclean, or sometimes called a sinner. To solve this, they hired others named tax collectors to handle this money for them. This is where Zacchaeus comes in. Now he's a very rich tax collector, but he's unclean. No one wants to even touch him. Now Jesus comes to Jericho. Zacchaeus is very short. Because no one wants to touch him, he couldn't just go to the front and look at Jesus. So he climbs a sycamore tree. When I was in Jerusalem, a taxi driver offered to take me to Jericho to see the sycamore tree that Zacchaeus climbed. To tell you the truth, I was a bit skeptical. How did they even know that that was the actual tree? The answer that he could give was that pretty much everybody knows this. Well, I didn't take him up on it. But a few days later, I was in Jericho and I saw this famous tree. Later on, I went to search on the internet and there's actually some proof that this actually would be the tree. Here's a picture of the tree. Now, you let me know if you have a good opinion in the comments below, because either way, I'm not convinced still. But Jesus came and told Zacchaeus that he wanted to spend time with him in his house. Now, all of the folks there in Jericho, remember, many of them were Sadducees, are grumbling because Jesus was going to be in the house of someone unclean. That wasn't kosher in their thinking. In Leviticus 6 verse 5, it tells us that if a thief wants to restore the money he stole, he would need to add 1/5 or 20% of the value. However, here we see Zacchaeus going way beyond the law and offering 4 times, which is a 300% return over the goods stolen, and he wanted to give half of what he owned to the poor. Remember, he was very rich. Then Jesus said in verse 10 that the Son of Man has come to seek and to save that which is lost. The Son of Man is a reference to the Messiah in Daniel 7. But then the phrase seek and save that which is lost refers to Ezekiel 34, where it shows that the Hebrew leaders were bad shepherds who did not seek what was lost. They only cared for their own temple and really their own career. I've seen so-called spiritual leaders actually do this. They don't care about the lost, but they just want their church to grow or their denomination to grow. So the obvious lesson here is, do you care about the lost? Do you try to seek them and help them get saved? Or do you just care about your own career or to better your own life? You don't want to be like the corrupt Sadducees. Now for the extra. When Jesus told Zacchaeus, this day salvation has come to this house, it's actually funny. In the Hebrew culture, names were very important and had a meaning. Everyone knew the meaning of their own name. The name of Jesus in Hebrew is Yeshua. Je refers to God and Shua refers to salvation. So Jesus' name really means the salvation of God. Jewish people would have immediately picked up on this. The salvation that came to Zacchaeus' house was Jesus himself. May God bless you. Bye-bye.